shale.
We're not in the reservoir yet.
As a result of burning all this oil, we're slowly poisoning ourselves. And that means that at some point the oil age is going to have to come to an end and be replaced by some other sort of age. And there's a big question about what that could be.
This is where we are. And the reservoir is just about where you're standing.
We don't know that, Jess.
I want to cut another core.
The drill plant budget's for 4 cores. You've already had 2. Both full of shale. Why don't we drill ahead for a while?
Your choice.
What if we're not close enough to the reservoir?
We're this close.
What if you called too early?
I haven't.
Nah, we could be coring for days. I can't take responsibility for you coring until you find sand. Not at $200,000 a day. You need to speak to operations in the UK to see what they think.
What is it?
Apparently I have to call Chris in operations if I want to take another core.
Well, what about the second one?
It's all shale.
And Kim wants to drill on.
We're meters away.
Also tell him you've spoken to Chris.
And Chris said?
Well, Chris said take another core. And don't slam the door.
John, let's leave it.
I got your key.
Give me the keys, mate.
You move out of line or I'll move the goddamn car for you.
I can smell it.
It's oil.
It's oil.
It's full of oil.
Fresh oil. The best smell in the world. Shall I call operations and ask if I can cut a fourth? Somebody help me! Look at the staining.
There's oil in the top 20 feet.
The rest is water. We've gone through the oil leg into the water leg.
How much do you think we got?
Not the 200 meters of oil-bearing sand we wanted, more like 15 meters.
Maximum. Hardly worth getting it out.
Might be. With oil at $160 a barrel.
Oh! So much for the giant oil field then.
The last great hope.
When you look at the success rates for these wildcat wells, it's probably only around 25%. You don't actually know if the oil's in the ground when you start to drill your well. So when it comes down to maybe the last great hopes up in Alaska and up in Anwar, not hitting them is a major disaster for the US, as many hopes, certainly politically, may have been pinned on them.
Broken his collarbone. He can hardly move. He can't swallow properly. He can't go to the toilet by himself. I'm changing his dressings every day. He's so full of pills, he'd rattle if you shook him. Which I'd like to. He's had some bleeding in his eye. They don't know if he's gonna get his sight back. I'm sorry. I don't know what's gonna happen.
The moment of the end of the oil age, whenever it comes, if we don't plan for it, will be bleak and brutal. But when you get to the other side of it, it's possible that the world that comes out of a world in which we're less addicted to oil is a world in which people will actually quite like living.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
One thing that I take away from this drama is that it's very important for us to think today about what we can do to move away from the oil age, to build a more environmentally sustainable and a more secure economy that relies on fuels, a broader mix of fuels, that don't bring with them all the political, environmental problems that oil does. And hopefully we'll develop a policy to move away from oil today, rather than waiting until a story like this in 2016 forces us to give up oil.
The Climate Chaos season continues tomorrow here on BBC Two as top artists experience the spectacle